uh, and try to customize and stuff to fit my needs. But I find that I'm spending more time than I feel like I should, uh, trying to incorporate some of these things. And some of it's kind of unlearning. Okay, it's better to use Chrome than Safari for some activities and that kind of stuff.
Yep. Okay, good. So we're gonna talk about that, talk about content, make sure you should understand everything that's in there. I'm gonna show you how we can take that content and publish it to our Facebook scheduled, right? So that's an 80% task as far as I'm concerned, right? We want to be face-to-face with clients, but I need a good online presence and education, etc. I can have a time block for an hour, create 4 or 5 marketing pieces, schedule them for every couple of days, go put your head down and work on appointments for the next week and a half and not worry about your social media strategy. Does that make sense, Corey? All right, what else? What are you here to learn?
I'm hoping you're going to walk through some of the designs and how-tos, because it still seems very cumbersome to me. And I'm going to put that back on myself. There's something I'm missing.
Yeah. I think it's like anything right now. It's what tool do you need to use, right? Leave everything else in the garage. I think in design specifically, and we're going to see it when we go through, get good at just a few things and you can be very, very good, right? Don't try to start adding a bunch of extra special things if that's where we get caught and stuck, because I'd rather you use it, right? On a simple form, get consistent with it, and then we can kind of increase some of the things that we have included in that graphic maybe. All right, let me get 2 more and then we're going to go. What are you here to learn?
How to make it less complicated.
Love it. Right? Everything has got to be easier this year, and set it and forget it and go focus on the 20%, right? So we're going to talk about that. And I think you'll see in here, if you haven't been in here, dug around, there is, I think, 1,200 marketing pieces right now. Okay. And here's what I'm going to tell you guys too. R&D, rip off and duplicate, right? I'm not saying that it's going to be copy, I'm not going to copyright, but there are 1.4 million agents out here. Okay. Go like a bunch of agents on the West Coast, or agents that you might respect that you've learned from or seen their YouTube videos. Go like their business pages. Go see what content that they're putting out that their clients are liking and subscribing to, and learn from that and figure out how you can repurpose some of that onto your page, right? Every business looks at their competition and says, that's smart, let me go do it, right? And you guys should be doing the same thing. You're not supposed to be sitting here going, let me come up with the most genius thing that I've ever come up with in my life, when there's 1.8 million people or 1.6 million people out there that are doing it. Let's go R&D. So Sandy, I'm going to give you some hacks on that today too.
Good. I tend to reinvent the wheel.
Do not reinvent the wheel, guys. Look around you. There's agents that have created massive businesses by like following the model. Once you have done that, then you get the right to customize. All right. But no one's coming into this industry with the newest, greatest thing, right? Like there are people that are doing it at a very high level, follow that model. That is the MREA, right? That is why you're with this company. I saw one person come off mute. One more.
I'd like to learn how. I'm in a dual career, so I really would like to have the system do some of the work for me. So the marketing is going out while I'm at my full-time gig. I really would like to have something help me out a little bit with getting out there and reaching people.
Love it. Absolutely love it. Okay. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay. I'm going to open up this tab right here, share my screen. Everybody see my screen? Just give me a thumbs up. Thumbs up. All right, good. All right, so guys, let's go ahead. If you're going to follow along with today, let's go over to agent.kw.com and get logged into Command. If you do not have a Command login yet, just watch today, okay? And even if you do, I almost would prefer you to like keep up, but keep up with the class, all right? Because I think if you learn it, you can easily spend 30 minutes after the class today, even 10 to 10:30, right? Keep in your same time block and go do a couple of these things and actually take action on them, all right? All right, over on the left-hand side, I know you guys have learned this so far, and I like showing this, not always said, but if you click this little KW button in the upper left-hand corner, you can punch out all the different names until you get used to all the names of the applets, and then you can punch it back in. Okay, get yourself a little more screen space. So we're gonna go ahead down, and we're gonna click on Designs, which is the little easel right here. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and open that up. Now, if you know me well, I like to do, I'm a big vegetable gardener. I like listening to this podcast. It's got Joe Gardner. And what he says is, I want to teach you the why do behind the how to. Are you with me on that? So my goal today is not just to show you like how to go do these things, right? I want to talk about why these designs are important and how your consumers are seeing them, right? And how we can do those different things. All right, so when we click on designs, let's go over this home screen really quickly. This may look different than yours, and the reason why is because I have created designs before. So all these designs that you see here on my screen are saved from creating them before. So if you don't see anything here, that's okay. Notice that at the very bottom of the screen, I've created 536 designs in Command. And so I can always toggle through anything that I've ever created. I also can search. And so that's kind of cool, right? I come over here and I can type in open house. And so even if it's not on my homepage here, if I've created an open house graphic before, right, I would come up with my designs around open houses. All right. Now, here's the reason that that's important is one of the benefits of designs, once you create something one time and you like it and you like the setup and it has your logo and it's got your headshot and it's got your contact information, it's got all that stuff in there. The second time you go to make that graphic should take you about 30 seconds. Does that make sense? The first time will be the hardest time. Every time after that, it gets easier. Really good book called The Dip by Seth Godin. It just talks about like everything's going to go through a dip, less competition on the other side. So, Anne, I know you mentioned it can be clunky. You have a little bit of trouble sometimes. There's constantly updates. Just push through the dip and get to the other side because I think there's massive value there. Okay. If I hover over a graphic, right, like here's a Veterans Day graphic, you'll notice there's 3 little dots here. And I can either rename that graphic if I want to, or I can make a copy. So if I wanted to keep my original version of something and create a new version of something, I could do that. An example would be, I create a social media graphic for an open house. I want to keep that because I still have that listing. And so I may need to hold that open house again. So I don't necessarily want to edit that one and have to restart. I can simply make a copy. And now I'm creating another graphic for 123 Main Street, right? Now I've got 2. You can also delete one. So if you want to go in here and clean up, if you've created some of these in the last couple of years and you want to do some cleanup, you also have the ability to delete different ones, okay? There's also some check boxes here, guys. So you can see here that there are some bulk actions you can do. This is new, so I can select multiples and I can say, you know what, I want to clear all of these, or I want to select all, or I want to delete down here in the bottom right-hand corner. Make sense? Sort up top here in the drop down. So I want to see date, old to new to old. Any questions on kind of just the initial screen that we come on to when we come into Command?
No.
Okay. All right. Awesome. All right. Here's what we do. Here's how we create designs. All right. Up top here, there's an import design button. I'm going to skip that for right now. We'll talk about that at the end of the class and maybe some things that you can do there. We're going to go in here and click create. Now, before we do that, I just want to point out, if you were on the class earlier this week on Monday, the orientation class, you guys went over your marketing profile and settings and putting in your headshot and some information and some logos there. If you've done that, that will carry through into designs. And so your headshots will be ready to use there for creating graphics, etc. Does that make sense? So I just want to refocus on do the marketing profile. If you have not done it yet, it will save you a couple steps when you go into the system. We're going to click on create up here in the upper right-hand corner. And this shows up. What do you want to create, Kyle? Are you looking to create an email, a social graphic, a print graphic, or a video? So let's break these down real fast. Email, right? Some of you guys are going, I've got my database. I've worked on tagging things properly. I've got all my email addresses in there. Did you know that right now we have 92 templates of email templates ready to go for you that are customized? All you have to do is literally bring it in and you could hit go if you wanted to. Okay. There are newsletter templates that are like placeholder. They're already set up for you. You got to fill in the content, right? So in the month of January, if you wanted to send out a newsletter, they've already got one built. It would have your face on it. It would have everything on there. We're going to look at a few of those today, but they're all going to be in the email section. Social. Okay. Here's what I want you to think of this. This is going to be graphics that are one-sided. Okay, graphics that are one-sided. Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, stories, Instagram stories, Facebook stories, TikTok, even, right? Like there's lots of different things that we're going to be able to do in social. That's everything that's one-sided that you would put on a digital platform. Print, postcards, flyers, booklets, magazines, okay? Any of those types of things that would have a front and a back, typically those are going to be your print materials. Now, it doesn't mean you can't use them digitally, right? So I could create a flyer, which is going to be in the print category, but I could save it as a PDF and I can email that out to everyone in my database as a PDF if I wanted to. Does that make sense? Just in terms of categories, that's the way it's categorized. Video, we're not going to spend any time on today, but if you would like to go play with this, what they have is they created like a templated video and you can put in some data about a neighborhood. So average price, the amount of homes on the market, inventory levels, etc. And it's got this little animated graphic that it will create and it'll say, you know, hey, this is what's going on in Crane West, right? And it'll show the little like videos, okay? So you can download them, you can use them on Facebook. It's not a very intricate tool, and there's just the one video that you can create. So go play with that if that's something that you want to do. That easily walks you through. Now, the last thing I'm going to show you here is this box here. It says import photos or text from a listing. Anybody know what that is? Anybody know what that is?
Import photos, I'm thinking is like pulling things from your camera roll or your desktop, your computer or whatever.
Good guess. You will be able to do that. This is actually, if the listing is in the MLS, any of our MLSs, we can suck all the photos, all the data out of the MLS and right onto the graphic.
Nice.
Pretty cool, huh? Here's how you can really use it well is if you're hosting an open house maybe for another agent, you don't even need to ask them for the photos. You could say, hey, I want to import the photos from 123 Main Street, and all those photos would be there available for you to use when we're creating the graphic. And I'll show you how we're going to do that.
Kyle, I would say one thing to watch out for is that it does make the MLS imprint at the bottom.
Yep.
So when you're pulling it over to a flyer, you have to kind of crop the pictures.
Perfect. So Stacey, when we get there, bring that up, right? We'll show people how we crop the picture.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Trisha.
Hi, thank you. Through the holidays, I like to put on social media, you know, like create a design, put it out on social media, but I also wanted to do an email blast. And when I tried to use that, it wouldn't let me because when I tried to send out the email, it only pulled from things that were saved as an email. Like the document that I created in social was not available for me to pull in to send out an email, a mass email to my database.
Yeah, you should be able to bring in like any graphic onto an email template. We could roll through it towards the end, and I'll see if I can help you out with that one.
Thank you.
Okay, and I think tomorrow's campaigns too, and so they're going to go heavy on the email campaigns, how they're set up. But let's really focus on the graphics today. But Trisha, I'll see if I can help you with that one.
Awesome, thank you.
You guys want to start? Someone just shout out social or print. Which one we want to do first?
Social.
Okay, awesome. Thanks, Tanya. All right, so we're going to click on social. It highlights it. Can barely see it, but it's highlighted. It looks kind of like Kelly Green on my screen. Once I click social, I'm going to click continue. And that's going to open up our design portal, which is in partnership with a company called WeBrand. Okay. Anybody use Canva? Awesome.
Come on, let's go this way. Come on, Aiden. Aiden.
I use Canva, but it's in a separate app, not through command.
Yeah, exactly. So this is very similar to Canva, right? Canva is a very good product, guys. They have a million things on there that you can do. And the thing that I get frustrated by in Canva is none of it's real estate related, right? I've got to make everything on there. I got to take a design, make it real estate related, right? So that's an advantage here of Command is everything in here is real estate focused. You can make some tweaks. You can edit anything you want in here and get it shipped out. Okay. So as we're looking here, notice we have templates, images, my designs, and assets up top. Okay. So we're just going to do a general setup here. Images. Okay. If you go ahead and click on that, you can search for some different photos, right? Like these are like stock images almost. I really want you to go to assets though. And this would be a one-time thing that you need to do. Homework for sure. So if you want to upload your headshots, you upload them one time. Now I'll be able to use those on every single graphic that I create. Okay. Your logos. So from your market center, from your logo for your company, these are some that I've just added in for training purposes. Okay. Guys, make sure you mute yourself, right? If you're not talking, all right, just so we keep the class nice and focused here. So we have all of our logos across the front. You can even add in some different color schemes if you want to, but kind of add them one time, set it and forget it. There's no limit to how many logos you can add in here right now. When we first started a few years ago, it was like 3 or 4. If you're coming back, and getting back into Command again now, or looking at this from just a learning purpose, just want to make sure I pointed that out. Okay. Guys, where do you go get your Market Center logo? Does anybody know?
Excuse me, I can't even talk right now, but the share folders in the Drive, Google Drive.
Okay, so every office might be a little bit different on how they kind of get some of that information out there. If you go to kwconnect.com, which is a really good training platform from KW with lots of great classes. If you haven't been there yet, I want you to check that out. Underneath of resources, I'm going to have to move this here, sorry, because the screen's blocked by Zoom. Resources, marketing. We see right there. So KW Connect, resources, marketing. When you open this up, you'll be able to see right here on the screen, it'll say your Market Center logos and graphics, and you're going to go ahead and put in your Market Center number, right? And it'll come up with the logos. And then you would come back over here into Command, and you'd actually be able to upload those logos. Okay, makes sense?
Now, since if we have never done anything yet, my screen looks a lot different than your screen does when I hit assets, correct?
Okay. It should be blank, right?
Yeah, it just says color and fonts, color palettes and fonts. I mean, it doesn't really, and at the first screen it actually came up and I gave you like a YouTube probably to review it. So
Gotcha.
Just want to make sure that's about what we're supposed to see because we haven't put anything in yet.
Yeah, I think you are. They probably put in some prompts there, like some learning prompts for new people when they come in if they're not in a class like this.
Don't even have the information on my website.
All right, so now what I want to show you here is, guys, what's the difference between these two photo files right here? Does anybody know?
You remove the background.
Okay, right, so one is a JPEG, one's a PNG. This matters when it comes to marketing and professionalism. So this one is the headshot I had done, and it's got the backdrop, right, that was behind me. This one's got my head kind of floating around, and I'll show you how I can use that. There's lots of different tools. Canva even has one that can remove the background. I want to show you a really quick tip here that I use. It's a website. It's called remove.bg. Okay, remove.bg. And in this website, what you can do is you can upload an image. All right, and when you upload an image, like I'm going to take Katie here. If I upload this image and I click open, right, it'll actually upload the image, prepare it, and it will remove the background out of the image. Okay, so you can see here, right, I can download that photo and then I'm able to upload that in to my system to use. So that's a great way, just a quick little tool that you guys can use to get those graphics created. Okay,
Is that free?
it works really well. I'm kind of sitting in the mouth. What's that, Tanya?
Is that free, Kyle?
It is
Remove
free.
it.
Yep. Yep. Remove.bg. Okay. All right. So let's come back to Command here. All right. So that's kind of homework. Put your different assets in there. Now let's go over to templates. Okay. And you won't see all of these because I have a leadership tag, but you should see a lot of them. All right. And they're categories. So we have listing, we have buyer, we have lead gen, business basics, right, et cetera, all the way down. Let's say we wanted to promote a listing that we have coming up. Okay. So we can click on listings and then notice here we have subcategories. Coming soon, for sale, just listed, just sold, listing presentation, right, etc. Kind of cool, right? So I can come up here and I can say, all right, let's, we want to create a for sale graphic. So I'll go ahead and click on for sale. Here comes all the graphics, see them? Up top, we have a few different categories. These are sizing.
I also kind of liked that she went like with whatever people were asking.
Okay, guys, remember, please mute yourself. All right, mute yourself and then come off mute when you have a question. So these are our templates. We have social wide, right? And that might be used on Facebook, on LinkedIn, right? More of the rectangular types of graphics that you see on there. Where do we typically see square graphics? What platforms, social media platforms do we typically see squares?
Instagram.
Instagram, right? So if you want a square graphic, you can do that. Or if you want to go to social stories, right? Instagram, Facebook stories, they're all rectangular, right? And same thing here. Now you got a few options of different stories that you can create. Kind of cool. So before we get into working on a graphic, any questions about how we got here to see graphics in the category?
The only question I have is when you pull in logos, and sometimes I know mine, I look at it, it looks distorted. So how do you go about making sure it's in the right size that you have to have for each one?
Yeah, I mean, that would have to do with pixels of the actual logo itself, right? So if we have a lower quality image, if you try to blow that up, it will not, or even Fiverr, right? Or some of these different ones, they should be able to give you some files, and some of them need to be that have the right amount of pixels, right? Or big enough so you can stretch them. That's typically having to do with like the actual logo itself, all right? A lot of the images in here, 360 by 360 is kind of the pixel amount that they're gonna do.
Okay.
Yep. And remember with logos, like they're usually small. So a lot of times you can get away with it because you're not dragging them out and trying to make them full screen. If you have a bad photo like of yourself and you try to enlarge it, you know, it looks very pixelated. That's where you got to make sure you get a new picture taken, high quality camera with lots of pixels so that you can use it on the web.
Kyle, excuse me, on the stories, where did you say that's best suited? Based on the
Stories-
size?
Yeah, so Facebook and Instagram, not like a post, right? You can create stories on those different sites. And those
Okay.
are rectangular, right? They take up the entire screen of the phone. And so the rectangular would be, you know, what you could do.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Now notice, guys, there are similar themes here, right? So you'll notice like this one here with the red for sale on the left-hand side. There's a story that matches that right here, graphic, okay? So if you wanted to create one for Instagram, one for Facebook, and one for stories, right? 5 minutes, you could come in here and create the 3 graphics, download them, and now you have, you know, your brand is consistent across all those different platforms. And so some agents like finding those few that they like, we're using them over and over and over again, right? Because then your consumers see a graphic and they go, oh, that's Ann Hergenrender. Does that make sense? So some people like to switch it up and they like to use all the different ones here. And again, here's all the different ones. Let's create a graphic. Okay. So the first thing I would do is I would scroll through, I would look at the templates. I would decide which one is a good starting point for me. What works for my clientele, what works for my taste. Remember, everything on here is editable. You can change font. You can change, all right? So these are just starting points. So I'm gonna go ahead and select this one. Let's just do this one right here, all right? So if I click on use, that is what will open it up and allow me to start editing that graphic. Have I lost anybody? Okay. Here's the graphic, all right? Now down below here, I can zoom out if I want to. I can zoom in if I want to in the bottom right-hand corner, just so it gets into whatever view that you like to see so you can make sure you can make your edits, okay? Now, what are some things on here from this template that we need to edit? If you were doing this for a listing, what are some of the things you'd be editing?
Yeah,
Logo.
Logo. Okay. Some of us are in the office KW DBA name. Okay. That's a placeholder And so you need to switch that logo out with the logo from your office, or at a minimum, the Keller Williams logo. And I'll show you, there's actually a few of them saved in here for you to use for quick and easy. Bedrooms, bathrooms, square feet, the photo, right? The address, the picture. We're going to change all of it. All right. Before we do that, on the left-hand side over here, notice that we have images, text, logos, elements, KWLS, animation, right? A recent update. And these are all our kind of like categories for editing, similar to Canva, if you use Canva. Excuse me.
Maybe brokerage information like fair housing logo and things like that, no?
Yeah, great. And I'm going to show you those are actually all in here. So if you wanted to use those are all here. Yep. All right. So here's the first thing I'm going to do. Remember that we talked about KWLS, okay? This is the MLS feed to listings, right? So if I wanted to, if I had a listing that was on the market already, now this would not work if your listing was coming soon or not yet in the MLS. Everybody hear me on that? So if you have a listing that's, even if it's in the MLS and it's coming soon, the MLS typically is not syndicating that out yet until it goes active, right? You can always, though, upload your photos right from your photographer. So this is like an easy button. This is not a stop go thing. So if I came in here, does anybody have a listing on the market right now? Anybody have a listing? All right, so let me type in, let me just see what comes up here. Let's see if we can find a listing. All right, so this one is in Wisconsin, okay? But if you searched, or like I knew, yeah, let's just use this one because it's snow and I like it. You can search anywhere in the country, by the way. All right, so all the MLS feeds are coming in here. So if this was my listing, right, I can click on select. And you'll notice here that the photo, and actually this one is a bad one because it only has one picture in the MLS. Let's try this one. All right, see all the photos just came in, right, from the MLS. And then also right here, there's another thing that says listing details, okay? And this has address, right, price points, some of these different things. I'll show you how we're going to use that. So let's switch out our photo. Let's say that's the first thing we want to do. I can click on the photo itself in the graphic and it highlights the photo. And whenever I click a photo and I come back over to the one I might want to add, you'll notice that there's a replace image button now, right? So I highlighted it and now I say, hey, you know what? I want to add this image, and I click that replace image and there you go. Switches the picture out. Now there's the picture of your listing. Very cool. If it's not in the MLS yet, right? Up here in the images tab, notice we have stock images, my assets. There's also an add button. And this is where, again, if your photographer sends you photos coming soon, you're trying to get all your marketing done, you simply can upload that image right here. Okay. So again, let me go ahead and just upload any sort of picture. Let me say it's this one right here, and I'll say upload. And notice that that picture will upload, and now I can use that picture anywhere on my graphic. All right, so that this picture of me could be the picture of the house. Does that make sense? Okay.
Did you put the picture somewhere else, like in the white area where it says built in 2015? Could you do that, or will it just replace it?
So you could add pictures, right? So if you wanted to say, hey, this has got a really nice kitchen, okay? So Tanya, good question. Notice I'm not replacing the image, right? I want to keep my main image, but let's say I want to add the kitchen photo. If I click this little plus button here, there's that photo. It gets just dropped on the page. And now I could resize this and I could move it over here.
Okay.
Right? And so now all of a sudden I could add 2 more photos, and now I've got 3 photos on the front graphic. Okay, so good question. Right?
Thank you.
You could say, hey, I think this built in 2015 thing being upside down is stupid. I don't like it. Okay. You can highlight it. You can delete it. There it goes. Gone. Okay. Delete the line. And now I could add in that photo if I wanted to. All right. Which is kind of cool. Good question. Now text, guys, you just click on the text box. All right. And when you click on the text box here, notice all the editing tools just popped up right above the graphic. So I can change the text, the font, the style, bold, center, alignment, anything you can do in a text format, you can do here. 2 ways to edit the text. I can either double click it. I can say for sale, but let's say I want to do just listed right? Let's just say that's the language of the term that I want to use. I can change that text, right? I can come back over and I can pull the box out a little bit so everything's on one line. Makes sense, right? So just basic little edits like that. Easier way to do it, okay? When it's a one-liner, sometimes double clicking on it and just changing it there is easy. If there's multiple lines of text, or even you'll see in the print side, and we have buyer presentation, seller presentation, sometimes there's paragraphs that you're editing. When you click on text, there's a really cool tool up here called typewriter. Everybody see it? It's this little tool right here. And if I click on typewriter, it'll actually punch out like a Word document. And I can come in here and make some quick edits like this, right? So 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 2,400 square feet. And my listing is $560,000, right? So I could do that. And when I click save changes, replaces it in the box on the screen there, right? You can see now it says 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 2,400 square feet, okay? So typewriter will save you time because a lot of agents like double click, doesn't respond right away. They double click again, it moves the box. You throw your computer out the window, you call me. So use the typewriter.
Kyle,
Yes.
one, this is a fabulous improvement about what I've been attempting, but do we have to rename before doing this so that the template doesn't go away, or did I miss that?
The template will always be in designs, right? You can always go back
Okay.
to the first template. When we
Okay.
create this, we'll save it, and then it will be on your home screen as one of your saved designs. there. But
Right.
that original template never will change. You can always go back and start from scratch.
That's what I needed to know. Thanks.
Great question. All right, I was going to show you this real quick. So we talked about the photos under KWLS here. This is the address, right? So if I went to listing details and I scroll down, right, here's the property address as it's listed here, right? Which doesn't make a ton of sense, obviously. But most of ours in Virginia would say 123 Main Street, Fairfax, Virginia, 22033. So same thing as the photo, I can highlight the text here, right? And I could hit replace, and it would just switch it out to the address. Okay, kind of cool. Let's keep going. You're going to see like themes here. I click on KWDBA. Notice when I did that, it switched my category over here now to my logos, right? So it automatically did it because it knows I clicked on a logo. Under my assets here are the ones I uploaded. And so now I could just come in here and say, replace that with my KW Fairfax Gateway logo. Boom, done. Okay. If you don't have that one, or maybe you say, hey, I really want to use the KW logo on this graphic for whatever reason, right? I'm highlighting KW, 180,000 agents, #1 company in the world. Under logos in the workspace folder, KW's giving you all the logos. They're already here for you. You don't need to download them. You don't need to upload them. You can come right in here and open up these folders, and you'll see those logos will pop in. Okay, makes sense, and you can use those just as your assets.
So I want to be clear.
Yes, ma'am.
So to do all my logos and stuff, or certifications, I have to go back into KW Connect, correct?
You can go there one time and download the full set of logos. And here's why it's important, right? This one
Right.
is on a white background, right, Laura? So like I need it to be red and gray text so I can read it. There are some graphics people like to have a black background. And so when you download the file from KW Connect, it's got every color scheme, all white, all red, all black. And that way you can use them and drop them on whatever color scheme that you're creating, right? So
Okay.
yeah, one time, go get your logos, upload them here into My Assets. You never have to do that again. And all the logos will be there forever and ever for you to use whatever one makes sense.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Good question. I remember I told you about remove.bg, right? And ways that you could use that. So this was my head. This was my shot. I just put it in remove BG and I removed the background, right? I can add that in and watch this. So now I can add this photo and there I am. Okay. So now I can move myself around. I can move myself over here like I'm hanging out in the front yard, right? I can, you can do some funny stuff with this, right? I've seen agents upload for sale signs and like drop a for sale sign in the picture, make it look like there's a for sale sign in the photo. Okay. You can do a lot of funny stuff, right? I've seen people like drop themselves at the kitchen table, right? Like really small, you know, like doing funny different things. So again, that PNG allows you to come in and use that where I can drop myself right here and I'm overlapping right on the photo and the red background, and it's not squared off with a gray background. That would look like super blocky. Okay, so that's a way that you could use a PNG and drop it onto the graphic and give yourself some personal branding. Pretty good. All right, now let's say I want to try to, yeah, go ahead, Letitia.
So to get that PNG again, we got to go to that special website that you was talking about, right? And
There's lots of websites. Canva has a tool actually where you can upload a photo and it will remove the background. I just stumbled across this a couple years ago, right? Remove.bg. Remember, I uploaded that picture of Katie, so there it is now, and you can see the checkerboard behind it, meaning saying that's a PNG. So now I can click download, right? It'll download it to my computer right here. I go right back to my editing software and watch this. I can drag it up from my screen into Designs, drop it, and now there's Katie, right? And so now I could add Katie into this photo, right? Maybe if we were co-listing it together or we were holding an open house together, right? Now Katie's going to go hang out on this side of the graphic.
Hey,
Okay.
some of the photos say Pro Plus and Business. What's the difference between those?
So you're talking about in here?
Yeah.
Yeah, so KW like paid for a basic subscription that if you want stock photos, you can use any of the ones that say free. If you wanted to pay like Shutterstock and pay for their additional library of stock photos, some of those are like an additional fee. All right. I don't ever see a need to use that, Craig. There are some really good sites out there that have free photo libraries, right? That are royalty free. I would never ever pay for a photo. Okay. These usually, guys, like if I'm doing a listing marketing piece, these don't really make a lot of sense to me, right? Like, why would I have the picture of these people in here? However, if I'm doing a buyer guide and I live in a beach town, right? And on one of my things, I'm talking about lifestyle, right? One of these free photos here would make a lot of sense for me to drop into a guide like that. Okay. So we'll just know when to use the photos based on what we're building. Okay. I want to point this out really quickly up top here. When we're editing, we have drawing, shapes, frames, text. So let's say I wanted to go in and add some new text, right? I could add a frame, right? So these are picture frames, and I can drop pictures into those frames so that they're nice and neat. Okay. Shapes could be used for, like, there's a little bubble down here, and I've seen people add the bubble, right? And they can move the bubble over, and I can change the color of the bubble. I want that to be whatever, green, right? And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add text on top of that bubble and say, join me Saturday from 1 to 2 at my open house. All right, so you can go super basic, or you can start to play around with this thing a little bit and add some extra fun features that might grab someone's attention if they're looking at it.
I missed the bubble. Wait, where?
Yep, so
Can
in
you click
shapes.
Shapes.
Trisha,
Okay,
yep.
got it.
Yep. And there's all different types of ones. So like I've seen agents before, if they do, price reductions, sometimes they'll add a shape and they'll put price reduction. And again, you can change the colors, the text, the font, the whole thing. All right, so basic editing. Everyone, I want to leave this class today with, you can go try, you know how to get here, you know how to edit text, you know how to switch out photos, just start there. Okay, and if you can do those things and replicate that several times, and kind of like what we were talking about a minute ago, then I think you get permission to go start playing with shapes and all these other things, right? But don't get caught with, I'm struggling with shapes, because like we don't need shapes. That's like an addition to. All right, so do the basics, get it down, then move on to other pieces, just like anything else. Okay.
I can't find shape.
So try this. All right, if you're looking at the tool, click into the margin. All right, click into the
Which tool?
gray
Wait.
area outside of
You
it,
under
and it should show up.
imaging? Under images first, images?
Nope. So they should be right up top here. You see them right here where my screen is.
Not on mine. Yeah, it's not
All right,
on
so
mine.
click in the gray area outside
area.
of the graphic.
There we go. Thank you.
All right, and that kind of like resets it. So if you're selected on something like the photo, it's giving me photo tools up there. Okay. So if I want to get back to that home screen almost, or the all of them, click in the gray area outside the graphic, and I kind of get reset.
Perfect. You're
Drawing,
awesome.
shapes,
Thank you.
frames, text. Right, so let's talk about how we're going to use this. Okay. Now here's the cool thing, guys. This is the exact same process you'll use on every single graphic, social or print inside of this whole suite. Okay. You use the same tool to add photos, add text, edit things. It doesn't matter. So if you can go in here and work on a few of these little things, get them right, it unlocks all of these marketing materials to you. This next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to come up here. I'm going to edit the name of the design. So let's call this one 123 Main Street, right? Because that's what it is. Okay. All right. If you've zoned me out, zone me back in for 2 seconds. Don't ever share it from this button right here. Okay. So we're going to download the photo. We're going to upload the photo. And I'll show you some different ways that we can do that. This share button is basically sharing a link to this website, and it's a terrible consumer experience, right? It's not how they want to see this graphic. So don't ever click this share button. I've never found a use case on why that needs to happen. The one next to it, however, is one we're going to use often. This is our download button. And so when I click download, right, it's going to open up and it's going to say, hey, do you want to create this as a PDF? If it's multiple pages, I can do all pages. These are your options: JPEG, small file size image; PNG, high quality image, right? PDF for printing. So in this case, I'm going to say this is a social. This is something I'm going to put on my Facebook. So I'm going to select PNG, a high quality image. Doesn't mean it's going to have a transparent background, right? It's going to keep the whole image the way it is, but it's going to be a good high quality image I can post on Facebook. Okay, and now I could click download. And now it's going to download to my computer. Okay. Yeah, someone asked a question about, can backgrounds be removed from like pictures on your phone? 100%. I take pictures and remove the background on my phone almost every single day. All right, so we downloaded it, right? All right, so let's go really quickly. I'm going to open up Facebook, live recording, probably a terrible idea, right? Don't hold it against me. If it's the algorithm, it's the algorithm, all right? But I just we're going to go through real life case here. So I'm going to go to Facebook. I'm going to open this up. And if you have a business page, right, if you have whatever else it's going to be, you can come in here and under where it says, what's on your mind, I can click on, right? And I can go click create a post. Okay, so this might be the one easy way to do it. Now I can upload an image, right? Remember, from my computer. And I can now drag that image that just saved to my computer, and I can drop it here. And right, that image comes in. There it is. Boom, beautiful, looking good. Join me, or so excited for my listing in 123 Main Street. Join me on Saturday, 12 to 2, blah, blah, blah. Everybody get the point? Quick, easy post. There you go. I could hit post and boom, we're done. You got a nice graphic out there today. Makes you look good. Everybody good? Questions on that?
So you have to have both screens open to do that, right?
Nope. Nope.
I'm
Because
not
remember, I was
savvy.
in here and I downloaded the picture. I could leave here. I could X out a command entirely, right? Then I come back later on in the day and I open up my Facebook and I go to create my post. And now my photo is saved on my computer. And so I'm pulling it in from my computer.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Questions, guys? Same thing on Instagram, same thing on LinkedIn. I could take this same graphic and go put it on 4 other social media networks if I wanted to, right? Repurpose them as far and wide as you can.
So when you download, and you're downloading that to your hard drive, right?
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
And
In
then
this
you're
case,
going back to your hard drive to get it, to post it on Facebook.
yes, ma'am. And I'm going to show you an easier way to do it, but I wanted to make sure everyone knows, like, this is a super easy way to do it as well. There is a way inside a command that you can actually pull this out of designs and schedule it. I'm going to show you that next. Okay.
All right.
All right. What I want to do here is I'm going to back out of this for a second. I'm going to click done. Like I'm done working on that graphic. I'm going to go back over to commands. We're going to spend 5 minutes. I just want to kind of give you a tour of all the different types of graphics in here that you can take what we just did and go customize all of it. All right. But notice I'm back in command now. I'm out of that We brand. I'm out of the editing tool. And notice that when I'm coming to designs, what's the first one that I see right there? The graphic I just created. So if you're playing around with me, if you're saving it, you also should see it there. Right? Okay, next week, fast forward 5 days. I've got another listing. I'm crushing it. I'm going on appointments. I'm focused on my 20%. I want to create another graphic. I'm listing this one with Katie. I can come in here and say, make a copy. Right? It's going to add a new one for me. Copy 123 Main Street. I could rename this 456 Main Street. finish. Open it up. So I have to just click on the thumbnail. That's all you have to do. Click on the thumbnail. It's going to open up WeBrand. It's going to bring you right into it to be able to edit it. Okay, so no navigating. You're not having to go through listings and coming soon or whatever. Here it is. Remember, I've got my logo now. I've got my pictures. I've got my contact info. Now all I'm doing is switching out the photo, the details, the address. Boom, save. We're done. We're on. That one took 5 seconds to finish, right? Because we're copying it. Questions? Let's stop there. Now we're going to go I'm going to show you all the different things that are in here. So any questions on getting to the design tool, playing around with some of the basic design functions of it, understanding templates, etc. Let's stop there. Questions? Okay. I'm either doing a great job or you guys are lost. No, I'm joking. Tanya, go ahead.
You're doing fantastic.
All right,
So
good, thanks.
I've attempted to create a design.
Mhm.
Well, let me back up. I've attempted to do a design with the email, but for some reason it won't import it. Like,
All right, so stick with me here, okay? I'll show you a
but I
couple
think
things.
we'll get to that. I'm
Yep,
sure.
and I want you to just focus on your graphics here. Okay, if you
Okay.
want graphics in your email, make them here first, and then we can import
Okay.
them. Okay?
Okay.
We're not trying to create graphics inside of the email templates.
All right.
All
The
right, so
other
now we're gonna go a
question,
little bit.
yeah, is the keypad, remember you were showing the keypad? Is it
Mhm.
everywhere in command? Not just in a design, is it?
No, the typewriter tool is inside of the editing tool of WeBrand. Like that's how you edit text on designs.
Right.
Kyle?
Yep.
Can you let me know where do we go to add our branding?
Yep.
You said it's
So let's-
assets?
Yep. So we're gonna go into WeBrand, click create design, either social or print, Marquita, and you'll see my assets up top there. And if you click on images, it'll allow you to upload images into there. If you go to logos, it allows you to upload your logos there.
Okay, I got it. Thank
And
you.
I'll show you again here in a second. All right, a couple things in the chat. So we got here. Command always has problem in importing a design. Same here. I agree with you, Tanya. Let's see. Can background be removed? What's the YouTube channel? So I can go back. Doy, if you're listening, if you go ahead and put in the YouTube channel, I don't run that, so they can put that in there. All right, so we'll look at the email side. Seems like some people are having an issue with that. Here's what import design is. I wouldn't really use this, to be honest with you. This would be if you had a graphic from like Canva and you really liked it and you wanted to know, like edit it inside of designs. It'll try to like break that graphic apart and allow you to edit it. That seems like that seems silly to me. Just go to Canva and make the graphic there if that's what you prefer. Okay, we don't have all the same fonts and text, and so it tries to match things and just doesn't look the same. Just go to Canva and edit it there. I don't see the reason that we're going to import designs back and forth.
And then
Right.
once you do that, then you just come back and add it to your assets, or you just add it
Nope.
to
Like
your.
if I made the same post in Canva, I would download it from Canva just like I did from designs, and I'd upload it onto my Facebook. Same thing, right? I'm
Oh,
downloading
okay.
it to my hard drive.
Okay.
All right, so create design. This is going to be a little bit of a quick one here, but I just want to show you what's available. So we're going to go back into social. All right, Marquita, you asked that question there, so I'll just show you as it pops back up here. Across the top here, it's going to say My Assets. That's where you're going to click on to enter all of your logos and branding, right? Assets, rather. All right, so listings. Coming soon. Just listed, just sold. Check this out. It's going to be on the print side, so that's why it's not in here. Local expert. Okay, so some of you are going, hey, Kyle, I don't have a listing. Doesn't matter. You don't need to have a listing. No, half these graphics have nothing to do with an actual house, right? Showing your value, educating people, right? So there's ones in here. How's the market? Now, again, you guys got to go do some digging. This is where you have to be a business person. They're giving you the template. You got to go figure out the numbers, right? Through your MLS, through going to team meeting, right? Those things, those are usually being talked about, and you can enter those things into here. Price updates, right? Open houses. So all of that is under listing. Under buyer, we have some buyer presentation neighborhood snaps. Again, you need to go into these in your own time. I spent hours just like messing around in here, looking at all the stuff that was available. All right. Client love. Some of you guys got people that love you, right? So some of these things are in here are, you know, here's happy birthday. So these are things that you would like shower down upon your clients potentially. Check this one out. Happy home anniversary, right? Who'd you sell a house to that you could post that graphic on their page and say, can you believe it's been 3 years, right? If you're a new agent, start keeping track of that stuff, right? That's what creates good, long-lasting relationships with your clients. Client testimonials. This is a good one. Someone writes you a review on Zillow, right? You don't post a link to Zillow because then you're sending your client into the Shark Tank with all the rest of the agents who are buying leads. Just take the text, open up one of these. I come here to Social Y. There's some great graphics. I could use that photo library like we talked about, and I could switch out the pictures. I could actually put in a picture of me and my client from closing if I wanted to. I drop the testimonial in there, boom. We got a really nice looking graphic, looks professional with that testimonial, and I'm delivering it in a very professional way. Event invitations. I'm not going to click on all of these. We'll be here forever. A few that I want to point out though. Business basics, right? So you can actually create things in here like business cards, right? Letterheads, some social branding stuff can be done in here. My background for my let me just turn my car off. I don't want my battery to die. My background that I'm using right now, look, it's right here from Designs. So they've even given you Zoom virtual backgrounds. How cool is that?
I've been wondering how people were doing that. I've been on so many Zooms and I've seen some of these. Now I know.
Now you got it, right? So
So do
you
you
go
just
into,
download them, Kyle?
yep, I can go right in here. You see mine, right? I manage 6 offices on a day-to-day basis. I went right into this one right here. I dropped in the 6 logos of my office. I hit download, uploaded it to Zoom as my background. Done. Took me 30 seconds.
That's so cool.
Okay. So that's in there. And this is the last one I'll point out. You guys can go play around with this. How about holidays, right? How about the easy ones, the low-hanging fruit? Categorized by month now. So I can click on January, and here comes all the different graphics for January, right? All the different events that are going on. So MLK Day, right? 16th, next Monday. They've already built it for you, right? You could go in there and you could add your picture. You could add your logo. You could add your testimonial to me. What does that mean? What does that day mean to me? Okay. But if you scroll down here, we've got, right, happy 2023. We have all different ones. So happy New Year, etc. As you keep going, if I go to February, what's going on in February, right? What's going on in March, April? Okay, they're all in here. Make sense? So you can go in there and have all those different graphics and be able to edit them from there. Okay, here you go. Here's April tax day. Right? Good thing to give people heads up on that. Ramadan is in April. Lots of different holidays, right? Passover. I think Easter is in March or April this year too. You're gonna see those in there. So again, guys, right? Everything in there. All right, I'm gonna get out of here for a second. So I'm gonna go back.
I have a quick question.
You're not following me. Don't try to follow me right now, by the way. Yeah, Clarissa, go ahead.
You mentioned the listing and the buyer presentations, and they were on the print. I don't know if you're gonna go over that or not, but how do you? Because I was trying to figure that out because I do have a buyer presentation coming
Man, it's like
up, and I was trying to see how the
Yep.
okay, makes sense.
it's like
Right.
you paid me, right? That's where I'm going right now. Okay, so let's go to the print side, right? So away from social, let's go to print, continue. It'll be the same setup. Your assets are still saved here. Okay, it's the same thing. It's just what kind of design are they
Right,
between the two.
okay.
So you don't need to upload your
Well, I'll
headshots
talk to
again,
them and
etc.
let you know.
All right. So we come over here and we go to, let's go to buyer. I think that's what you said there, Clarissa, is buyer presentation.
Yes, that's
Five.
correct.
5 of them. Right? 5 guides to home ownership. Now, the content is similar. The design is different. Right? So if you want to be more like luxury focused, right? A lot of those have black backgrounds, but it costs more to print, obviously, right? Those are in there. So, if I opened up this one here, if I clicked use, here's your buyer guide. All right. Now you need to edit some of these things, right? These are not just print them out and go. Spend a little bit of time and you can customize these things. But check this out, right? So your guide to home ownership, if I wanted to, I can come in here and actually edit this and say, for Clarissa Lewis. So when I meet with you, I have a professional buyer guide that's got your name on it. How cool is that?
Yeah, thank you. That's exactly what I was looking for.
Right? Bottom right hand corner. Bottom right-hand corner, it says pages. You see that? You can open up the pages. This guide has 32 pages, right? So you can come in, table of contents. There it is. And guys, just like we did before, right? Drawing, shamed, freight, all of this is editable. So if I wanted to switch any of these out and I'll say, you know what? I don't want that to be my table of contents. I would rather change that, right? I'd click on table of contents there, your dream home, your preferences, and now I could change that table of contents right there using that typewriter tool. Kind of cool. Now, let's say you didn't want to edit some of these pages. Clarissa, you said you have a buyer. Hey, I'm trying to get something, right? I don't have time to edit 32 pages. Cool. Just delete the ones you don't want, right? So you can actually come in here and you can actually delete the page. Say, I don't want pages 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 9, 12, 15, 17, 18. Now you got 5 pages that are customized that you really like. Download those 5 pages, print them out and go. Okay, so it's not all or nothing. You can pick and choose. If you have your own presentation, there might be something in here where you go, you know what? I like that. I want to use that. Pull it out. Just download that one page, right? Send it out. Okay. So same thing. Some of you guys are asking about the buyer guides. If I go back here under print, right? And I go to the listing side, there's also 5 listing guides. Okay. Now listen, a lot of you might learn something from going through those. Right? So go through them yourself. So go to listings, right? Listing presentation. Here's your booklets. Here's 5 different ones. Boom. Cool. All right.
It has the verbiage in there, so really you don't have to recreate the wheel unless you want to add some other additional information. Is that correct?
That's correct. There are some places though, like reviews is like all like pig Latin. It's just a bunch of gibberish.
Okay.
So just be careful. I have seen agents print it and I'm like standing in the office at the printer and they come off and they're getting ready to go meet somebody. I'm like, hey, it's all gibberish. Like, take this page out or go in there and put in for your testimonials and add it. And then boom, you're done. Guys, here's what I do. I don't customize these because they take too long. I would make one. And what I used to do was I used to print out 30 of them, have them sitting on my counter. Someone wanted to meet with me. I grabbed it. I went, right? Because I'm lead genning throughout the day. I don't have time to stop and go make a custom thing. Make it one time, get it to where you want it to be, use it for 2023, right? As you meet with people, you'll learn tweaks and things that you got to change. Okay. I just want to show you here. So listings, and if I went to for sale, remember we're on the print side now, guys. So instead of graphics, you know, we actually see some of those here because I'm jumping in and out, but now you see a few more. Door hangers. Anybody ever want to create a door hanger and walk a neighborhood? Flyers. There's your property flyers. You could create, print them out, take them with you to your open house, have them sit down on the table. Postcards. Hey, I want to create a postcard and I want to circle prospect a neighborhood. They look like the social graphic, don't they? They look similar. What did I say was the difference between a print graphic and a social graphic?
It's front and back. You have
Front and back.
Front and back.
Yep. So if I come over here to pages now, notice that on the postcard, there's the back of the postcard, right? Where I've got my brand, I've got my message, etc. Boom. Now you guys got postcards that you can print out and mail out. Okay. You see that box in the bottom right-hand corner? Just a quick tip. If you're ever making postcards, that white box is there for a reason. What's that reason? The bottom right corner. Why is it blank?
It's where the address
Address.
goes.
In the address.
Where the address goes, that's where the stamp goes whenever you send them out through the mailing systems, right? So don't put anything there because it'll be overwritten by that white box. Like it'll literally be printed that way. All right. So leave the white box in the back always the way it is for addresses. Everybody feeling good about kind of like the We brand side, the design, kind of going in there, messing around with stuff. Everybody feels good.
Kyle, there's one thing that trips me up.
Yep.
And it's only if you use like the brochure, like let's say you're doing it's like a 4-page brochure. It's a little tool up in the right and it's where you can flip something.
Yep.
It doesn't work great. On mine, it will show the pictures are upside down and then they print correctly. So, but it isn't always consistent. And it's just a real hassle. I don't know if it's just a glitch with mine or if it's a glitch in the system, but it's.
So you're saying like one of these, like you have a trifold or a bifold, right? Is that what you're kind of talking about,
You just
Stacey?
were on it a second ago. Yeah, it's like it folds and it's 4-pager brochure. Yeah,
Gotcha. Okay,
it's one of the, it's the bottom one, I think.
this one.
Maybe mine looks different now because I've edited it, but
Gotcha. I've never made one of these before, so I'll have to play around with that. When I come back on, do the next round here, I'll see if I can figure out why that's happening to you.
when you're in there, there's a little box at the top that you can like flip. And
Mhm.
so you flip it and you flip it. And so then you print it because it looks right. And then when it prints upside down and then you go back and you change it. It's really wonky. So I don't know if it's a problem I can report to have it looked at, but I'm sure that maybe like a lot of people just don't use it because they can't figure it out. But I
Hey, well,
like that.
Stacey,
Sure.
Stacey, if you get a chance, send me a loom of what it looks like on your side, and I'll kick it up to a support. Yep.
Okay, thanks.
All right. Okay. All right. So let's go back now, guys. I want to go back into command for a second. All right. So let's go back there. So agent. All right. I'm going to show this to you. They're probably going to cover this tomorrow in the campaign. I've said I was going to mention it a few times, so I'm going to now. Which is, you guys know that in settings, you can connect Facebook. Right. And so in the campaign section here, the little megaphone, I can open up campaigns and you have the ability to do paid ads. That's what we're talking about, right? There's no pay. What I'm about to talk about is the free side of this, right? Which is just social posting. Okay, so we're not talking about paid ads. What I can actually do is I can come in here and say, I want to create a social post, not a paid ad, a social post. Okay. And let's use tax day maybe as an example, right? I saw that graphic. I wanted to create it. I'm probably going to be busy in April selling houses, and I'll probably forget that, right? But it would make my business look good if I, had the ability to make sure that posted, right? So listen, I'm not going to get into right now your Facebook page connecting, disconnecting. There's a lot of reasons why that could be happening. Go talk to your MCTT about that if you're having issues. I just want to show you how this works, okay? So I can come in here and let's say I connect my Facebook page. So check this out, right? So text, I could say, join me. Let's just do open house. Join me this weekend at my open house. Okay. 12 to 2, whatever it's going to be. Now notice as I'm texting over here, I'm typing all these things. I'm getting a preview over here on the right-hand side. All right. And there's my text that I just typed out. There's my Facebook page, my profile picture. Right down below here, it says add media. Everybody see that? Add media. Okay. So then it says drop and drag from your hard drive, browse the files on your hard drive, or look what's there, browse designs. Okay, so now instead of downloading it from designs, I could have just renamed it, exited out, right? Saved it and exited it out. I didn't have to download it to my hard drive. So if you're at a computer that's not your computer and you're like, I can't download anything, you could do this, right? So browse designs, then it's going to open up your saved library, and there's all my designs that we've created. There's the one we did for 123 Main Street. I select that. Okay, remember, it's Facebook, so it's going to make sure that it's rectangular because that's the optimized version of that. But it'll actually bring that picture in. Here it is. And so I can say, do I want it to be square? No, I want it to be wide, right? That's the graphic that I created, right? So you can see how I cropped it in there. I can say crop image. Boom, there it is. Okay, so there's my post. So I've got two options. I could either go right now and click on schedule post or publish immediately, right? So if I did publish immediately, I could do that and it would just post it right now. I would probably just go to Facebook, right? I feel like there's an extra click or two to do it this way than just go direct to Facebook if I was going to publish it right now. But let's say it's Monday and I'm getting ready to leave for a few days on vacation. I want to go hang out with my family, but I create this design. I want to make sure it goes out on Wednesday when I'm flying back from my trip with my family. Okay, now I can go down here and hit schedule post. When do I want that to go out? I want that post to go out on January 19th, and I want it to go out at 9:02 a.m. So it doesn't look like a robot's posting it, right? I don't like to land on round numbers. But check this out. I can come up top here. Now I can go over here and hit schedule. Okay, now it gives me a preview. What does it look like? Yep, that looks great. Let's go ahead and schedule that post. I can go hang out with my family. My social media is still moving forward. People go, look here. It looks like I just posted the other day. And in reality, I'm flying back on my airplane. All right, and this is kind of a cool view here. If you look at your social post section, you can go to the month view and notice what you're going to see over here once it loads up, right? On the 19th at 9:02 a.m., showing that I've got a scheduled Facebook post to go out that day of that month.
So you can create them and then schedule them for whatever you want them to go out.
You could do the whole first quarter,
Oh,
Tanya. Create
okay.
a time block, create your 30 posts, schedule them all out, move on with your life and focus on your 20%.
I'm thinking you do it for someone's birthdays. I mean, you could do your monthly birthdays. If you want to do a post for birthdays, because you already know their birthdays, and you can schedule the days and they'd have their first birthday, happy birthday.
You could. I can't post on their page, Sandy, to your point, but I could put up a, hey, wanted to wish happy birthday to all my clients, right? That have birthdays in January, and you put 5 or 6 of them on there, right? And tag them if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Okay. So options there. But yeah, guys, I mean, I would go through that first quarter, holidays. Like the way that I like to do it is 3 pieces of information a week that are just generic, that are set up, that have nothing to do with like timeliness of our market. You have that. Now, all of a sudden, when you see something funny at a showing or whatever it's going to be, now all of a sudden you can add your timely information in the middle of it. But if you get busy, at least your page is posting stuff. Okay. There's plenty of Facebook pages we all go to. And the last time they posted was, you know, January 2021. And you're like, this place out of business? Right? Like, are they even working? So like your social you can't have that be your presence. Use a tool like this. Again, I just showed you where there's 1,000 marketing pieces in there. Go grab a couple, right? Do some basic editing on them, get them scheduled and go. Listen, if you need to, do a week, get in the habit of doing it. And I think you'll find these things, just like anything else, will speed up, right? And when I'm sitting there watching Ravens beat up on the Bengals on Sunday night and I have my laptop open, I probably could put a couple of these graphics together and get them out there.
Can you shift it on your schedule or cancel one if you, like I just did this as a test and now I don't know how'd you get back to that page where you're at right now with that calendar?
Yep. Awesome. So let's go. Let me just click back here for a second. So I'm going to go, so I'm still on social posts. So if I click on social posts, right, the default here is week view. Okay. See it? This is what it should look like for you guys. If I switch it to the month view, you should see whatever you schedule. Okay, Trisha. And
Perfect.
yes, you can click on it, opens it up. I can edit it. I can delete it. I can do whatever I want. Okay.
Sweet. This is so golden. Thank you.
And that's such a good point because listen, there are things that will happen, world events, right? 9/11 is a good example of it. There's actually been a lot of case studies written about social media and how 9/11 affected social media posting because companies had things set up, they're ready to go, right? It was kind of the first major world event that happened where all of a sudden people were now posting at 10 a.m. like, you know, try our new Pepsi product. And everyone's like, hey, bad timing, right? Like not the time and the place. So you need to be aware of what's going on around you. And if you do use a scheduling tool, be aware, right? There might need to be an action that you got to go take and delete things. You know, no one's going to hold it against you, but it's a great thing to think about.
I'd say holidays might be just a good one to, I mean, personally, I'm going to try a holiday because that's something you could do. You could do 6 months out, just one post, but it's simple enough that you can try it and you don't have to think about it. It's done.
You got it. Exactly. Okay.
And this is only for Facebook. There's no way to do Instagram, right?
Instagram's coming very soon, I think by family reunion. And I think you're going to see TikTok as well. And I think Google as well. I think Google AdWords is actually coming in here where you can be publishing to Google as well. So they're bringing in some additional social products into the system right now.
Because this would be great because I
Is
can
there
do
a
all in
button-
here versus the app.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is there a button where you can click and say pause all pre-scheduled posts or like,
No,
you know,
you're
don't
the
send?
first person that's ever said that, and that is genius. If you go to ideas.kw.com, you can submit any idea that you want, and I might do that one. That's a smart one. And then the tech team, that's how KWRI's tech team sees it, and they go, "Oh, that's a great idea." So no, but I would see good functionality for that. It's a great class. Great question.
What's your question again, or clarify it?
It'd be cool to have a button up here somewhere that would just say like pause all scheduled posting, right? So you could just like turn
Gotcha.
everything off for a second and hit pause on that. Yeah. All right. And then this is the last one I'm going to go do. And this is something that you guys need to go play with. All right. Let's go back and look at the emails for just a second. And let's kind of wrap up that side of things. We're not going over how to deliver emails today. That is going to be in tomorrow's class. All right. But this is how you create the email that you want to send. So if I click create, remember we clicked on social and print. Let's go over and click
You're
on
back
email.
in designs now, not campaign, right? Back in design.
Correct. So I'm going back over to designs real quick. Yep. Okay. So back to the easel. Right. Create email. Continue. Okay. So these are all of the KW templates. You can see at the bottom here, they've got 72 of them right now. Happy spring, happy Valentine's Day, right? There might be some event invitations. If you wanted to send out an email highlighting 3 homes, you could do that, right? And guess what? That's what works in this, well, the KWLS. So you could open up one of these designs and actually syndicate in 3 listings from the MLS that are active, and the information will get sucked in, right? You have to go through these and just look at them, all right? So there are newsletters, there's emails for open houses, there's things that are not transactional, right? Tax day is in there. And same thing, guys, you can schedule all of your emails, okay? So I could go in right now, write out the email for my tax day, or let's just use this one as an example maybe. So I click on tax day, I open this email design. Okay, and then here is what KW has created for me to work off of. Again, this is a template. If you don't like it, change it, all right? Tax day will be here before you know it. If you've already filed your taxes, congratulations, right? Here are some maybe things that you can find helpful, like helpful tips, right? Give yourself a break, know your tax tools, trust the professionals. And then you see down here where it's got like all these different placeholders, right? Website, name, right? Download my app. Where's all that stuff coming from? The marketing library, okay? So if I didn't want to do anything, if I like this, if I didn't want to touch it, I could come up top here and there's a little eyeball, which means preview. And I could actually see what this would look like when it goes to one of my clients with all my information filled in. So there's my logo, right? There's the graphic. And then as I come down below there, Kyle Holleran, my license number, my headshot, my office information, my team information, right? It filled in all of those like blank areas out of my marketing profile.
Question, Kyle.
Yeah.
The in the box at the bottom, and I've had this issue and I don't know how to fix it. It says website.
Okay. Yep.
Is
Right
that
there.
it? Yeah.
It's
So
actually
is
a
that-
link. It's weird.
Okay.
It's actually a link, Peter. So if you have your website in the marketing profile, that button
Right.
when you send the actual email will become like clickable, and they can click website and it'll take them to your website.
Got it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So Kyle, the problem that I've had is that I've done this, I've gotten to this part, and then there's a place where you can type in the person's name, right? And then if you preview it, you'll see your client's name there. How do I export it to my client? That's the problem that I'm having. So
You don't need to
I've
export
done-
anything. All right, so what you're asking about here, which is kind of cool. So watch this, guys. So if I click on this text box here, okay, so same thing like in the other side is all of this is editable, right? So if I click on this text box, this little pencil is what opens up the editing tool over here on the right-hand side where the text is. Everybody see that? So I think what Tanya is asking here is that if I actually click down here and I put in these different name tags up here, these are like placeholders, okay? So I could actually come in here and I could put in contact first name. So check this out. Contact first name, comma. And I'm going to click done, and that saves it basically. I'll check that over here, right? See where it says contact first name? Okay, so you won't see it. You just got to trust this system. And what I would tell you is I sent these to just myself 100 times before I sent them out to my clients, right? I sent them to my
Yeah, me
sister, my
too.
mom. I sent them to my mom, my dad, like everything, okay? So if that's in there like that, if you send this to 100 people, it's going to look like it's customized to each individual person. It's going to pull their first name out of the contact profile. And so it'll say, Tanya, tax day is up. Peter gets Peter, tax day is up. Trisha gets Trisha. So it'll pull the first name out of the contact profile. Okay. You will not see it in the preview because it doesn't know who you're sending it to. Okay. But when you send it, it'll fill in the first name from the contact record.
So how do I send it?
Go to tomorrow's class. That's what you guys are doing tomorrow.
Okay, because I've
Okay.
sent it to myself and
Mhm.
I've done this and there was no name. So I was thinking I'm doing something wrong. So
Okay.
I wasn't doing anything wrong. I'm not going to see the person's name, but
Yep.
I just need to
In
figure out how
preview, you
to.
can.
Yeah, try to like I added myself in with like a free Gmail account or free Yahoo account, and I just created like a I call myself Kyle Hall, like HALL, right? I made it a mock one, and I just kept sending them to myself that I could see what they look like when they got to me, right? So take tomorrow's class down. It might give you some clarity, and if you need some help, we'll help you out.
Well, I've sent them to myself, so I
Okay.
know how to do that part. I just don't know how to send it to my clients. Like,
Yep.
see, I've gone back into contacts. I just don't know how to send it to the clients. I know how to send it to myself. I'll be at
That's what-
class tomorrow.
That's what they're going to do tomorrow. They're going to walk you through that whole process. All right.
Okay.
Kyle,
Now, just last thing on this screen
Question.
here, just notice that, these are your little widgets. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, when you send,
Yep,
or
someone had a
anybody
question.
of
I'm
us
sorry. Go
send
ahead.
to our, okay, so does it go to their inbox, mail, promotion, junk, spam?
Depends on A, the email box that they're using, B, how they have their settings set up, right? So some people have it set up where if there's the word unsubscribe in an email, it goes to their trash. There's nothing we can do about that, guys. Okay. You have to have an unsubscribe button on there. Mine come to my inbox. Like my clients, they see them when they come to the inbox, right? But people can go on Gmail and click like move to spam. And if they do that on Gmail, Gmail will forward them to spam from then on, right? That client has said, I don't want to see this from Tanya, right? And we send them that. We have limited control over where they show up based on that, okay? Test it out. In my Gmail account, most of them come through into my inbox. In Gmail, sometimes they have like inbox, social, something else, right? And they kind of categorize them for you. And sometimes it can show up in a different category. Just want to show you these over here. Listing block, right? So that's one, if you wanted to highlight a listing, there's actually a pre-set up listing block for you there. I love this one. So I'm a big fan of video. I think it conveys you, your personality to people very easily. So you could shoot a video, right? And I could actually bring on, so what you do is you drag these little widgets onto the screen, right? There's my little video widget, drop it on there at the bottom, right? And now I can come in here and I could click on video and I could upload a URL. So if I did a Loom video, that's what I use. Some of you guys know Loom, L-O-O-M. You can create like a quick little video screen recording. I can enter that URL and then right there in the email, someone clicks on that play button, they can watch my video. Right?
So Loom, L-O-O-M?
Yep, L-O-O-M.
I'm looking around not seeing how to add video. Oh, never mind. Sorry.
Is it loom.com or just Loom?
Yeah, I think Loom. If you just Google Loom, it'll be right there.
Okay.
Right. So again, so this is how you set up your emails. And again, don't mess with any of this stuff, right? You're not clicking on here and deleting it. It will auto fill in from your marketing library. So you're just going to focus on the most, like the bulk of it, right? To create the design, right? Once I create the design, I can save it just like the other ones over there. So I can name it. So right here, it's called like tax day, right? So I can hit save and then I'm going to click out of here. All right. Save changes. Right, and I'm gonna just go back to KDB command. Right, and so there it is, right? Because it's a design that I just created. So there is my email, classic tax day. Okay, and tomorrow you guys are gonna pick up with inside of campaigns. How do I suck that design in and send it out to all my people? Okay.
When you're in one of the little blocks there and you chose edit and you then added contact first name, do you then hit like just above that where you're in edit text, that little line, there's either done or cancel,
Hit
but
done.
it's above that is then save. Do you save
Yep.
and then hit done or done and then?
Nope, hit done. It'll take it back and show you that it's here. And then when you want to save the whole thing,
There
you're
we
happy
go.
with it, then you click save. Yep. So click
There we
done,
go.
that
Thank
takes you
you.
back. If you
Okay.
click cancel, it cancels whatever you just did, right? So I get
I
that
had
call a
hit
lot. People are like,
save because you're automatically instilled in hitting save before you do anything. So I hit save and it didn't save. So you had to
Yep,
hit done
that's why.
first
So
and that saved
yep,
it. Okay.
you got it. You got it. Okay. So same thing, guys. Like I get my newsletter I created. There's a newsletter template in here. It's got 3 sections. Okay, so I'm responsible for coming up for 3 sections every single month. Tips for homeowners, market update, featured listing. Okay, now you got a market. Now you got a newsletter. January, February, March, April, May, and all you have to do is fill in your 3 blocks every single month, right? Streamline it. Okay, and then here's the really cool part about this, and this is where I'm going to end, and then we'll kind of take questions today before we wrap up. Go to the class tomorrow and kind of finish on what we just did, because here's the cool part. You can now go into reports, and inside of reports of your command system, you will see that there is an emails tab. You can open your emails tab, and you can literally see from, let me go back to a month in which from this account I sent an email from. Let me see, October maybe. Go back. 2022, let's say October. This is a training portal for me, so this is not where I run my business out of, but I want to show you this. All right, this is an example. If I send 500 emails to my clients today, okay, I would see how many of those were delivered. 480 of them. 20 of them are bad email addresses. So I'd be told like which ones are bad email addresses that didn't actually get delivered. They came back to the system. Out of the 480, how many people opened my email? Would that be helpful to know? Based on who opened my email, if I had a button in there that went to my website or a button that said click here for a free CMA, right? I'm a big fan of MOFers. What is a MOFer? Anybody know what a MOFer is? Make offer for immediate response. Okay, so like if you look at your newsletters or emails you get from businesses, there is always a button that they're trying to get you to click to go into their lead funnel, to go to their website, to go wherever. So you need to have the same thing on your newsletters, right? It can't just be text on a page, right? Try to draw them somewhere and then you would know who clicked on your button, right? So if I sent that email out to 500 people and I knew that 32 people clicked on the button, who do you think are the 32 that should be getting the Happy New Year's card? Really appreciate you of being a client of mine. Like, you want to engage with the people that are engaging with the technology. If I notice no one's ever opened an email from me and they just delete it as soon as it comes into their inbox, I mean, how much more time am I going to spend on that person, at least in terms of making sure they're getting my emails? Like, I don't care. They're deleting them. I can use that information for my benefit. Okay. All right.
You
So that's a
teaching
lot.
it tomorrow?
I'm not. Nope. I teach once a week.
Really quick on this emails tab, if you hit the details, does it show, it shows you specifically who it was sent to and who opened it? Yeah.
Yep. 100%. So it'll show you exactly who it is, right? So JC opened it on this one. I was probably working with her. You name them all, right? So the subject of the email, like went out, Happy New Year. That's how you know exactly which email campaign, exactly who it was. Yep.
Love that. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Stop share. Helpful?
Very.
Incredibly.
Yes. Very.
So once a week, you say teaching on this day, like
Well,
Wednesday?
I'll teach for the region. Like we do this once a month, right? And I'll teach one of those sessions once a month. Yep.
Oh.
I manage
you.
1,300 agents day to day. So I can't teach tech every single day, but I love it. And that's why I love showing up here. Because I love working with agents, right? And I think there's things you guys can do today to fill your funnel, right? Create appointments.
Are
Alright,
you going
major-
to be hosting any of are you teaching anything at MGM next Tuesday, the shift into Overthrive?
I will not be, although I do some big regional events like that often, but I will not be doing that one. I will be at the MGM. So I will be there for that one that day. If anyone's planning to go to that, it's kind of a session they're doing from the region, from Maryland, DC, and Virginia, actually. But here's the deal. I'm going to stick in the chat real quick. Okay. My email address. All right.
Got everything, Kyle. Thanks again. You have a great evening.
You too. See ya.
All right. Bye-bye.
Yep. No problem. Yep. Meeting codes are the same for all meetings. Yep. That's my understanding. That's my email address, guys. I'm really close to most of the MCTTs in the region, right? We work together at a pretty high level. So if you got issues, definitely go to them first. Like they're first. I don't have access to a lot of the back systems for every office. But if there's something I can help you with, don't hesitate to reach out. That's the power of KW. And if at a minimum, we can link up with your MCTT and make sure you have what you need. Okay.
Are you
Good.
at
Kyle,
a
this was very
particular
helpful.
office?
What's that?
Are you out of a particular office?
I
You're
manage
in
7.
Virginia. I'm actually Arlington, so.
Yep. I manage 7 offices, the ones out in Fairfax, Loudoun County, and Richmond West.
Okay. Cool.
Right? But I'm always help. I can come to offices and teach, right? Like, doesn't really matter which office you're in. If you're in our region, we're here to help you.
Thank you.
Got it.
Have a wonderful Wednesday.
All right, guys, everyone have a great day. Go take some action steps from here and have a productive week, okay? Good spending some time with you.